Hello and welcome to this example of what SP Navigator does. I have created a link on the desktop. It doesn't install with a link on the desktop, but if you want you can create an alias. And the first thing it'll do is it'll find your last windows that were open and it'll open them and take you to the document libraries or the lists that you were in before. In this case I had two sites open, the main site and a subsite. I'm going to close the subsite window just to show you how I opened that. If you look in the left pane, you'll see subsites, and here I have random subsite, and that's as simple as it is. It opens up really quickly because all the information is cached locally, so even if this was offline, it would still be able to get this data from the local cache. You wouldn't be able to do anything with it, but you'd be able to get it. If I want to copy this Aloha shirt JPEG from this subsite to the main site, I just drag it over here, let go, and it copies it. And that's as simple as it is. Create a new folder in here. I could rename this folder. Call it Hi There. And now that I've created a folder, I can drag this into that other folder. So now we have this file in this subfolder. And if I wished, I could have done the same thing. Here's this screenshot. And these are just files I made for this purpose. I can drag it into the Hi There folder and it will copy it in. And now we have the screenshot there. If I wanted to see this Aloha shirt, it's a picture of me, I could drag it to the desktop or some other folder. And here I have a picture of me in all my glory. If I wanted to copy this entire folder, if it had a big folder tree, I could take the whole folder tree, drag it to, in fact, let's this time open up Finder, and let's drag it to a different folder. I'm just doing this just to show you that it doesn't matter if it's a desktop or not. So I can drag it here, and it'll create a Hi There folder and subsequent files. Notice that the date today is not May 2nd. That is the date of the original file. It kept the modified date and the created date the same as the original files. Notice that Finder looks very similar to SP Navigator and is designed to be very similar. There is a little bit of a confusion. You might not be able to see which is which. SP Navigator doesn't have this icon showing that it's the home or whatever site it is. But you see at the bottom, it does show me the current site that I'm connected to. And if I wanted to connect to a completely different site with different credentials and copy between those two, I could do that as well. And another feature is you can show different file attributes. So I just clicked on ID. I'll dismiss that. Unfortunately, it appears off the screen here, and it made the ID column. And I can arrange these. The name column always must be the first, although in this version, if you put it someplace else, move away and move back, it'll put the name column in first. But it did retain where ID was. And it will retain the widths of the columns. So if you go to Documents and you come back, it'll retain that it's ID. So if I wanted to see more data about this, or let's say I don't care about versions, everything is version 1, I can get rid of the version. You see, it removes it immediately. If you wanted to connect to a SharePoint site, you go to the top where it says Go. This is very similar to Finder. If we go to Finder and you say Go, you can say connect to server. And that's essentially what we're doing. We're connecting to a server. In this case, it's SharePoint. So we go back to SharePoint Navigator, Go, connect to your SharePoint site. So it works in a very similar way as Finder does. So I can connect to a SharePoint site, and in fact, if I really wanted to, I can connect to the same site again. And this is legacy logon. If I wanted to log on using a web authentication, I could do that as well. And you could save the login credentials. If I have this unchecked, the next time I start the application, those credentials will not be retained. So save the credentials and say OK, and notice that it is actually navigating to this site. And I need to use a different account. So in this case here, I'll log in with this administration account. Here SharePoint is asking if Safari should retain the login information. The application actually remembers login information, so you can always say no. However, saying yes might help a little bit, but only click yes if you only have one account for that site. Otherwise, always say no using this application. Here it is, it logs in, and now I'm logged into this site using this account. I hope that SP Navigator fills your need. It is a simple application for you to be able to move and copy files around between your SharePoint sites. Like anything, this is going to grow over time. If you have any questions or you want to give recommendations, you can go to SharePointNavigator.com, and there's a link for future plans, and at the end there is a link for feature requests. And if you would like a different feature that we don't have in the product that is easy to implement, we will do it.